Just leave a little clearance on both sides. Get yourself straight. We'll lock it. What you want to do is have this belt underneath the flap. That might be repeating a lot of stuff you already know, but it's just force of habit. So we'll bring this over like this. Slide this over. Support it. Normally you might not have to move this one, but since it's overhanging a little bit, slide this over. Not a lot, because we want to help support that flap. So now we got our support. When we come up here, what we want to do is always, when you go to larger envelopes, you don't want to be caught underneath here. You want to just bring it to the inside. But now when you come to a flap, what you want to do is come out to where that belt is going to be about 1/4 inch away. You want to let that double and triple thickness sit down so it's not too tight here. You have more than enough drive to do what you want. It seems a little tight here. I can open up this guide just a little bit and lock it. That's all, and everything else is basically the same. Bring this out, 9x12. Bring it down to here. And we'll just level that off. Everything else basically stays the same when we set up. Do you have a maker of these? Do you have other ones?
No, I've got some where the flap is here.
Oh, this right now. I don't want to go in.
I think these will run good because they seem very flat.
Yeah.
Usually they're not. They're usually very wavy.
The main thing that you want to do, if the flaps get tucked underneath, it's all with the fanning. And what we're looking to do is just keep 9x12s. When you push down, it's even with this. Go along. Try to maintain. See, I push down. I could go just a little bit higher, but I think that's a good starting point. You'll see as we go through.
Can you fan it out too much? I generally fan it.
Yeah, if you fan it too much, what we call, Matt, is a dive, where the ones in the back, the ones in the front go like this, and the other ones come underneath it. That's from fanning too thin. So now, we're going to turn it on. If it's over fanned, you can end up hitting this quite a bit. That bounces against you. That's going to tell you, just fan it out a little bit thinner. Because all the heaviness is here, center seam, this will probably be up a little bit higher.
I wore out these wheels, and one of the guys said that I wasn't fanning them out enough. So
yeah, sometimes it can be a little bit tight. Now we don't even put them in there; they're smooth. We make them smooth. So now what we're gonna do is let this come up here. And the eye stop it. Okay. Then I turn it off. And then you can adjust it the way you want. But what I'm looking for here is just from front to the back, they're just being level. This is our large envelope support. What this does is it helps take the valley out of the envelope by pushing up from underneath its spring pin, and will allow the envelope to take the valley out of the center of the envelope. All this is act like a support. You're not using it to raise or lower the envelopes. It's there to support the center of a large envelope. But what we're looking at, you got a nice stack here. You're level in the center here, but here, the real key is, see, I can push behind here and I've got some give. If I hit the belt underneath there, underneath that flap, it'd be hard as a rock. It's about even. You always can tell if you're over fanning if it's hard as a rock. You want to have it with a little give inside there. Now see, he's getting a little bit high. So what you want to do, what you want to do, if you feel you come up here, you push down, you want to be, especially with these, you want to be at the bend line. Take them out. Take a smaller stack, it's easier to control. Slide it in, and you can do that on the run as you're getting them out. You can add or take some away. You can see just what I've done here. I come down too low, that could be a problem. So just you can scoot them up like this and bring them up, and then each one of your other loads that you follow behind, you can add or take away. It's not that bad. But the main thing that you want to do is keep these. If you're running a center seam, you push here, that you're with that bend line, the same thing here. This is wherever the thickest part of the envelope is. And now, go ahead and, if you're at the number 10s, we'll crank this back, and then we'll go up to the front of the press and set that up. You got a center seam envelope. Then both belts will come out to here. You know, out to the...
I want to say when I was trained, you cut it into thirds, so it would run right
Yeah,
here.
you could do it, you know, at a point, you can have it anywhere you want, but a starting position, you want to start here, right? And then with the booklet, you bring it out a little bit farther. Open end, you can have them out or just in to take any valley out also. So at this point, you got the control.
Okay.
Side guide, so I'm going to lock it and then just come back here. Tuck it in. And, okay. Now turn them on to where the jogger, what I'm looking for is that jogger, you know, you push them all the way forward. That jogger is just going to bump the stock just a little bit. That's all we want, just a little bit of a bump. What it does is it's not meant to push the whole set tight up against there. It's meant to push the bottom envelopes that are coming up away from the rollers. It pushes it out from the radius to make a square step. So that's why it's so low.
I'm not real. Get it back to my side there.
When this comes up and it's tight, the jogger is going to be hitting the bottom feed roller. So you just fan them out a little thinner. And once you get the feel of that, Matt, then everything is smooth. Right there. When it picks up, if we have to shoot a little blow in there, we can. But that's almost just perfect what we want.
Okay.
But we'll see when he gets things set up on the front there. Dan, where'd you put his screws? You guys
I didn't take it off.
Oh, okay. Some of the times I'll come here and this thing will be like...
And it could be with the flap.
Yeah.
And, you know, you go from that point, like we had somewhere tilted like that. And you don't get the uphill. See, I'm doing this and trying to push it up the hill instead of being straight out.
Was that the? Don't say that.
One of the feelings. Hands like black nail polish for a buddy. Hands are really down.
Yeah, I lost it from that. Off my phone 3 times.
You didn't get any second breath.
Hold on, it's gonna stop. Still keeping up. All we did was a week of beer. Hey, Dan.
Losing yellow from where we started.